I hope everybody has taken the time to print out the Code of Conduct, which I gave you a link for. The APA, which is the acronym for American Psychological Association, the current ethics code consists of an introduction, a preamble, 5 general principles A through E, and then specific ethical standards. And in this presentation, we're just going to talk a bit about the general principles and the specific ethical standards. Membership in the APA commits members and also student affiliates. So there is a part in there for students, and it's never too early to join APA, I might mention. But they must comply with the standards of the APA ethics codes and to the rules and the procedures that are used to enforce them. And lack of understanding or a misunderstanding of an ethical standard is not considered a defense to a charge of unethical conduct. It's kind of like when you get stopped for speeding. The preamble and the general principles are not enforceable laws or rules. Yeah, I don't guess they're laws yet, but rules. But they should be considered by psychologists when you're arriving at an ethical course of action. So the general principles are not something, they're not obligations, and they shouldn't form the basis for imposing sanctions upon members. But I'm just going to hit the high points and summarize some of the points from these general principles. So if you have that printed out, you might take a look at them either now or later. You really need to read them. Principle A, that's all about doing no harm. It's pronounced pretty strangely. It's beneficence and non-malfeasance. And this is where psychologists strive to benefit those that they work with and take care to do no harm. And the take care to do no harm is the most important part of this particular principle. Principle 2 is about fidelity and responsibility, and psychologists develop relationships of trust with people that they work with, and so they need to be aware of the professional and scientific responsibilities to society and the specific community where they work, and they need to uphold professional standards of conduct, etc. Now, by the way, I'm not coming up with this information. It's taken directly from the Code of Standards that you should have printed there. I'm just not reading the whole thing. Principle C, which is integrity. The psychologist seeks to promote accuracy, honesty, and truthfulness in the science, teaching, and the practice of psychology. Do not lie, cheat, or steal. Principle D, which is justice. Psychologists recognize that fairness and justice entitle all persons to access to and benefit from the contribution of psychology and to equal quality in the processes, procedures, and services being conducted by psychologists. They exercise reasonable judgment and take precautions to ensure that their potential biases, the boundaries of their competence, and the limitations of their expertise do not lead to or condone unjust practices. And Principle E, which is respect for dignity and worth of all people and the rights of individuals to privacy, confidentiality, and self-determination. Psychologists are aware of and respect cultural, individual, and role differences, including those based on age, gender identity, race, ethnicity, culture, national origin, religion, sexual orientation, etc., etc. I'm not going to go through all of these on the ethical standards, but I do want to talk about them in the next slide for just a few minutes. Well, actually, as students of psychology, you should go ahead and read through them while you have the document open. Each of these standards have additional